All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier iHypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. Some days we really feel the energy, everything's going just right, and the day only gets better and better. And we end the day feeling that, we won the day, that today was one of the best days of my life. And then there are some days when it seems like it's going to be an amazing day and that you're going to win until you're suddenly surprised and you experience that surprise over and over and over and over again. Obviously, when I'm talking about the two types of days, today I'm talking about the second type. And starting very early in the morning, I had one set of surprises, and things kind of settled for a bit, only to find that there was another set of surprises. And then when it seemed like, things were resolved, there was a third set of surprises. Now, if you think about it, we always talk about content and context. The content, meaning the details of what happened, quite honestly, are beyond a point, they're irrelevant. But the context is really what's most important. And especially as a healer, especially as a coach, you know that there are a lot of times when we go through things in our life, and there's a tendency for us to get caught up in the content and we forget the context. To simplify this even more, today, it seemed like I had kind of managed myself, managed my emotions, taken care of what needed to be taken care of. And then when I was, as it would be, with my community, running a session, we had a beautiful session, and out of the blue, towards the end of that session, I was suddenly overcome with emotion. I was feeling extremely it's like very hard to describe even right now what happened, but suddenly I was feeling, emotions of loss. Suddenly I was feeling overcome with it. And in that moment, I had two choices. Either I could be in it or I could kind of brush it off. Something that I have done, and I want to share three of these observations, three of these skills that I've been now building on for a while, and I know that it really does make a difference because how we show up with our community makes all the difference, not only in our lives but also in theirs. And so the first thing, of course, is rather than pretend, because in the past, I'm sure you've had this experience, I've done it too, and we kind of prefer to gloss it over. We kind of like to distract ourselves from the emotion that we're feeling. But instead, we're choosing to prefer. So it's prefer, not pretend. Prefer, not, prejudge. So preferring to be present, preferring to notice what's happening inside, that really makes all the difference because that is really when we're being authentic. The second thing, of course, is that, you've been drawn to build your community, whether it is building from scratch, whether it is growing your community. But it's moments like this. My question to you, of course, is that as a healer, as a coach, do you actually commune with them? Do you actually share with them in that moment of what's happening? And I'll say this also, it's not necessary that you have to tell them everything in that moment, but are you comfortable enough to be with them in that moment, trusting that just like you are there with them in their vulnerable moments, in their what one might call weak moments, are you willing to commune with them? And lastly, of course, and this is one of the most important things that I know, I make it a point to practice every single day, and this is self-care. And from that moment when I was literally overcome with that sadness and with the feelings of loss, um, I made it a point to really be present to myself. That meant, taking some time off with myself, by myself, and also being around people that matter, right? Whether it's family, whether it is my own self, but really giving myself that time. I even took a nap in the evening. I knew I had another session, and even after that, I made it a point to just relax for a bit and just completely tune inside. And here I am now at the end of the day. Uh, you know, so one thing I can definitely say is that as a healer, as a coach, this is something to really be present to, because there will be a lot of moments when our emotions can surprise us, and situations can surprise us. So even though most often we are very put together, we are at a point in our life where we get to be that strength for others. In the same breath, when you're faced with an experience like this, being present really makes all the difference. So as always, these pods are made for you. These pods are made in support of you, so that when you're going through something, you're reminded that you're not alone, and that together we can make this happen. As always, I truly appreciate you and look forward to seeing you, whether it's in our community, whether it's in the retreats that we now host, or of course here like this live. Now, I noticed even recently that we have been recording these episodes on Spotify as well. So if you like your audio podcasts, you can definitely consume it there. And as always, if you find any one of these episodes, any, many, or all of these, share it with somebody who's in the same space, being a healer and a coach, because it's together that we can make this happen. Having said all of that, of course, as always, remember to live your purpose. God bless, and of course, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.